In the world of professional football, success is often measured in numbers. The size of your contract. The roar of the crowd. The millions of fans who chant your name. It's about glory, wealth, and winning. But what happens when a man who had it all decides to give it all away? This is the story of Jason Brown, an NFL star who shocked the world when he walked away from football at the very peak of his career. He left behind millions, fame, and everything he had worked for since childhood, to do something most people couldn't even imagine. He became a farmer. Not for profit. Not for glory. But to feed the hungry. Jason Brown was born in Henderson, North Carolina. A small town where dreams were often limited by what you could see around you. For Jason, those dreams were bigger than his surroundings. He grew up tall, strong, and powerful, traits that didn't go unnoticed by his coaches. Football became his gateway to something more, something beyond the limits of small-town life. At the University of North Carolina, Jason quickly established himself as a dominant force on the offensive line. Teammates described him as both a gentle giant and a relentless competitor. On the field, he was a wall of strength. Off the field, a man searching for meaning and identity. In 2005, his dream came true. The Baltimore Ravens drafted him in the 4th round of the NFL draft. Jason was now part of the elite, one of the very few who would experience life in the NFL. He worked tirelessly, rising to become one of the most dependable offensive linemen in the league. And in 2009, his career reached a milestone that most players only fantasize about. The St. Louis Rams signed Jason Brown to a 5-year, $37.5 million contract. At the time, it made him the highest-paid center in the NFL. Think about that. In a sport filled with stars, Jason was now one of the richest men in the game. His future seemed set. Wealth. Security. Fame. The American dream. But here's the twist. While the world saw success, Jason felt emptiness. Week after week, as he played under the stadium lights, he couldn't shake a question echoing in his heart. Is this really it? He had money, but money didn't satisfy him. He had fame, but fame didn't quiet the voice inside. Even in his finest moments on the field, Jason felt a gnawing sense that something was missing. That all the success in the world still couldn't fill the deepest part of his soul. It was during this time that Jason began leaning heavily into his faith. He studied scripture. He prayed. And in those quiet moments, he began to hear what he describes as a calling. Leave football. Feed my people. The words were simple, but the weight of them was enormous. How do you walk away from millions? How do you turn your back on a dream that so many would die to have? How do you explain to your family, to your teammates, to the world, that you're giving it all up to become a farmer? But Jason couldn't ignore it. The call was too strong. In 2012, at just 29 years old, Jason Brown stunned the sports world. He walked away from football. No farewell season. No press conference full of tears. He just left. His teammates couldn't believe it. Reporters didn't understand. Fans thought he was crazy. Who leaves the NFL at their prime to play in the dirt? Jason did. He took the millions he had earned and bought a 1,000-acre farm in Louisville, North Carolina. He named it First Fruits Farm. The mission was clear: grow food and give it away to people in need. Jason Brown's life today looks nothing like it did in the NFL. Instead of roaring crowds, there is quiet farmland. Instead of reporters shoving microphones in his face, there are children helping plant seeds in the soil. Instead of $1 million paycheck, there's the satisfaction of feeding the hungry. He spends his days with his wife and children, teaching them the value of hard work and compassion. Together they farm the land, pray together, laugh together, and live a life that, while far from glamorous, is deeply rich in meaning. His journey forces us to ask the uncomfortable questions. What are we chasing? Money? Fame? Recognition? And if we catch it, will it truly satisfy us? Or will it leave us feeling the same emptiness Jason once felt in the NFL? Jason Brown discovered that the real victory wasn't on the football field. It was in the soil, in the harvest, in the hands of a hungry family receiving food with gratitude in their eyes. In a world obsessed with winning, Jason Brown found victory in giving. And maybe, just maybe, that's the greatest touchdown of all.